Hello my friends, it's Mark the Southern Cadman here today in beautiful North Carolina. It's a nice, cool, I don't know, roughly 60-65 degrees. I'll take that every single day of the year if I could get it. But I just wanted to take a moment. I know we haven't had any videos out in a while, although some are coming. I wanted to take a minute to show you something really special here. This is a 1990 Cadillac Brougham d'Elegance. And it is triple black with 67,000 miles. Just a beautiful car, straight as an arrow. Really brought up to a very high level. As you can see, we have the Diamondback Royal seals on it. You're looking at original factory painted pinstripes. The car is laser straight and quite a dream. Has the original black vinyl top in excellent condition, and those of you who know these cars understand what that means when I say it's a 90. You know that 90 was still lacquer, right? So yes, a lacquer car. There's the original dealership badge. So how is it that it looks this good in lacquer? Well, I've got a little secret. As what you're always going to find, the hood and the trunk were checked. So since this was a preservation approach, the hood and the trunk have been reshot with lacquer. So somewhere between 8 and 10 coats of lacquer have been applied to the hood and the trunk to retain this car's original paint type, and it matches in terms of color just amazingly. There's the continuity of paint. I think it's subtle for sure, but for those who are as crazy as me, it's something that a few can appreciate. But just a really nice car. The claddings have been freshened up as well, and of course the fillers have been replaced and upgraded with the injection molded pliable fillers, which came out great. The fitment is really nice on these. We emulated the original parted pinstripe back here, the stick-on variation. It is a 5.7 liter car, as you can see. As I stated, there's the original dealership badge. And it's really interesting when you're dealing with a car that's this original and this clean, because you can see things you might not otherwise necessarily believe. I'll give you an example of that. As you can see on the deck lid, it is the original pinstripe, of course the original dealer badge, Wilson Motors Pontiac Cadillac. But if you look at the right angle, you can see that there is a factory run, just almost a factory run on the deck lid. I've seen this kind of thing on several of these cars. So they weren't always perfect when they came out of the factory, that's for sure. But even the irregularities had a level of character to them. Another place you'll typically see this, if you're going to see it, will be under the door handle, and I think it's this door. I don't know if you can make it out or not, but there's just a slight hint of a run there as well. But the car came out just beautifully, and what I love about it is that it's just a really faithful representation in terms of what they look like. This is what you went to buy if you went to the Cadillac dealership in 1990. This was it. This is as close as you're really going to get to capture that accurate look with the Diamondback tires and the lacquer paint. So this is a project that's been enjoyable. It's been satisfying to bring it to an end. It took a lot of attention. It took a lot of energy, but the client is certainly appreciative of all this nuance. Let's take a look at the interior. When you're talking about a de-elegance, of course, this is what you're talking about. The Chesterfield style tufted interior is just immaculate, and very, very soft and supple. The door panels as they should be. This is a garaged car from the time it was new. So this one, of course, we have the original stereo and things like that, but what made this car a little challenging is just when you're committed to bringing every last thing up to spec, just like the stereo, had to find someone to actually recondition the radio. There was some scratchiness. We're not going to get any kind of signal in this little hole I'm in, but there was some scratchiness in the sound. Of course, power antenna. And then there was a problem with the tape deck, which was actually the hardest thing to fix, apparently. It took several weeks to get this one back, but it's back and works as it should. The speedometer, odometer cluster had a little bit of a flicker just from time, and so we took that out, went to the same place with that, had that repaired as well. It's the little things, right? Just like these beautiful gold keys we had cut. Just bringing it all back as close as we can. Turning back the clock somewhat. Headliner, of course, beautiful. Still retains the original floor mats. If you can see, black carpet's a little bit hard to display on camera. I'm losing myself here in the screen. But just a really honest, nice representation of what these cars are. Do a little 3/4 shot here from the back. Everything turned out very nicely. All of the strips, the impact strips, are in really good shape. Took them off the car to freshen them up, and they were in remarkable condition, still very pliable, which is not always the case. You can see the sail panel. There's no buckling where the body seam is. Just a beauty. It's been a pleasure to have in my possession, and I know it's going to be loved for years. There's just something about the black, isn't there? But you know what? One thing that I don't really care for is the fact that it's only clean for about 30 minutes. I don't care where you are, even indoors. You can buff it, clean it, dust it, go to lunch, come back, and you've got something to clean on it. It's really something. And the more you look, the more you're going to find. But it is a 5.7 car, and it runs as it should. Of course, 700 transmission. And I'll show you under the hood what she looks like. But we've got some things coming up. I'm working on another de-elegance right now. It's a silver car. There's something special about that one that you're gonna see when the time comes, and it is approaching. There's a 5.7. It's really nice, really honest under here. Nothing goofy. That's what you want to see. Just want to see them stock. I threw the floor mats in the car just to show you Well, we're going to go ahead and put the stick down clear mat in place there for transport. Again, look at those Diamondbacks. They're really something. It's the little things, again, the details, like on the crest, the coloration, all this stuff. I did actually go to the extra length of installing a brand new old stock hood ornament. So thanks to Chris Adams for that. As you can see, everything proper and stock here in the trunk. And I wonder, let me know what you think about this, but you know, these triple black cars are something special. And we all know these are the ones that have really brought the big money. If you want to check the codes to see if it is an honest black car, there it is, 8535 dispersion lacquer. That's black, 8535. You know, they use the same color black from the standpoint of having it mixed. I think this black goes back to the 1930s. It's the same formula. So, and there's something about the lacquer, you know, it's classic black lacquer. The last Brougham we had here, the last black one, was also a 90, and it was also a very nice car, but it had been resprayed with base clear. Came out great, but I gotta tell you, there's just something about the lacquer. And there's the newly painted lacquer hood. Very little information left out there. Very hard to get information about lacquer. Ordered the paint from TCP Global in San Diego. And just the hood, the trunk, and the fillers. Let's see, it was 2 gallons sprayable, so you're looking at about 2 gallons of lacquer just on the hood, the trunk, and the fillers. And let me explain. We painted only the hood. The fenders are still the original paint. The header panel still original. And back here, only the trunk was painted, so everything in front of it, everything around it is original. Now we broke it off right at this ledge. We did I guess you could say a blend. We blended back into the original paint. So next to the trunk crest, that's original lacquer there. Right here, what you're looking at in the middle of the screen, right above the pinstripe, is the original lacquer paint. This is our new lacquer paint. And we did this to address the crow's feet, some of the checking. Again, just to bring it up to as high of a level as possible. We went through the car mechanically, everything from the exhaust system to the brake hoses to starter, water pump, anything we could think of. This is a customer that really wanted this car to be reliable, plans on using it, taking it on some trips, and we didn't want there to be any reason for him to hesitate. So everything we could think about replacing that was a failure component, we addressed with AC Delco parts wherever possible. But I know we got some Cadillac fans out there, we got some Brougham fans, and who doesn't like a triple black one, right? So just wanted to show and share it with you guys before she heads home. Also, how many of you guys have been fans of these cars since they were still at the dealership? As a teenager in high school, I remember going over to Central Maine Motors in Waterville, Maine, where I originally come from, and just drooling over the line of Broughams, the rainbow of colors of what they had to offer back in those days. And my friend's dad, I've told the story before, but he always had a triple black Brougham, the Elegance, and he had one just exactly like this. He traded in his 88 triple black Brougham, the Elegance, for a 90 with a 5.7, just like this has. But just to give you guys a little bit of the, join me in experiencing the drive of a car like this, just really something special. And a great car for this time of year. This is a car that's great for any time of year. What a view out that hood. I just remembered I don't have a license plate on this car, so I better get back. Absolutely marvelous example. We have more on the way. Wait till you see the silver one. It will be available. It is a 91 with 40,000 miles, right at 40. In fact, I bought it at 39 and some change, and I couldn't keep it from hitting 40, and it was just a little too tight. So I intentionally ran it over 40 just to get over that hump. So it has right at 40,000, and it's an original Dreamboat as well. But these cars are, as we all know, they're just coming on so strong. And I was discussing it earlier with someone. These triple black ones, they're scarce, and they were scarce back in those days too. They didn't make a lot of triple black cars. My battery died in my camera, and I didn't realize I didn't have a backup with me. So anyway, I did want to show everyone this beautiful new old stock hood ornament. The one that came off the car was actually probably 90% this good anyway, but a brand new one was just a nice touch. So Chris Adams furnished that. I appreciate that very much. As I was saying, you know, the triple black Cadillacs like this, they were uncommon when they were new. You didn't see a lot of triple black. And my friend's dad, when he would get one, I remember they would have to call around to different dealerships to see who had a triple black the Elegance, and invariably it would come in from out of state. It's a lot to maintain. You had to really, I mean, if you kept this car outside, it was not going to look good for very long. So you had to garage a black car. I mean, really, you need to garage any car of this status, but particularly black. This thing, it wouldn't have stood a chance out the elements. But something really special here. Anyway, we'll see you guys on the next one. Again, keep your eyes open for new videos. Got some ideas banging around in my head about some other angles, but more Cadillacs coming. Have a good one.